Well, XRP just got put on the fast track. And at this point, I think there can be no disputing this. Yesterday, I published a video all up on the YouTubes highlighting that there's a firm that made a change to an important filing with the SEC that should result in the first ever in the United States spot XRP ETF going live on November 13th, or possibly a little bit sooner if the government shutdown ceases. Very low risk for it extending beyond that, very low. So we know with a high level of certainty that it's going to happen. We don't literally, not literally for sure, but pretty darn close to it. But now we have reason to extra believe that. Take a look at this headline. This is from Coinpedia. XRP ETF launch could happen this November after Bitwise SEC filing. So another major firm in the realm of crypto, ProXRP here, has changed their, sure that we're all on the same page here. I'm just going to do a real quick catch up here. It's kind of setting the table, especially if you missed this news, you're going to need to have this context or else the rest won't necessarily make sense. But here is an article from Crypto in America. This is from Eleanor Terrett, former Fox Business Network journalist. And this piece is titled, "Will XRP be the next crypto ETF to hit Wall Street?" And we're just going to touch on this and we'll get into the new part here, but reads as follows. Canary Capital's XRP spot ETF could be the next crypto fund to hit Wall Street following an amended S1 filed last Friday. The filing, quietly modified on October 24th, removes the delaying amendment that gives the SEC discretion over when the registration becomes effective, clearing the way for a potential November 13th launch, assuming NASDAQ approves the crucial 8A to allow it to list. Which, by the way, and perfectly responsible way of reporting on this, just my editorial here, my humble opinion is that, yeah, of course, NASDAQ can approve that. That's a virtual certainty so far as I'm concerned. Now, what was interesting is, so this, and the interesting part, though, is, as cited here, this was actually technically publicly available information on October 24th. Nobody knew until a week later because nobody caught this little tidbit. This is a tasty little morsel here. So props, all the credit in the world to Eleanor Terrett for finding this and publicizing this. But the delaying amendment, yeah, removing that means that Canary Capital, which filed for the spot XRP ETF, this means that unless the SEC actually puts a stop to it, they'd have to be proactive to do that. This spot XRP ETF absolutely automatically goes live on November 13th. That's why this is a big deal. And so I was excited to report on that in the video yesterday where I covered this, right? Now, of course, if the government shutdown ends, it could actually happen sooner, but I would say like the odds of it going even further than that, not likely. In fact, Paul Atkins, he's the new SEC chair who replaced that Mr. Burns lookalike, former supreme leader and dictator of the SEC, Kim Jong-Gensler. So Paul Atkins replaced him, and look at this post yesterday. Like he's obviously all for this approach of removing the delaying amendment. And so he wrote here just a few days ago, with yesterday's listing of Maplight, that's just a company unrelated to crypto, the IPO market is still open for business. Companies are going public during the government shutdown using the method Congress originally intended. And so, you could be sitting there wondering, well, wait a minute. If you can just file and then not have to do anything and then it just automatically goes live, isn't that better than filing in such a way that the SEC has to approve it? Well, it depends on how you're looking at it, but it seems very obvious that it became the norm to require the SEC to approve it the way that you file it. The SEC is more likely to be friendly. They could feel a certain way if you file in such a way that you're not even trying to have conversation with them, which, by the way, is what that would mean if you remove the delayment. You're not having that back and forth with the SEC. So yeah, they can technically stop it. They're more likely to. That's the thing. That's how, if you're a business filing for an ETF, you're like, no, let's play nice with the SEC. Okay, I don't want to get on the enemies list, right? Like we're in second grade. That's exactly why. In a nutshell, that's a big part of it anyway. So at this point, though, Paul Atkins running the SEC is like, no, this is the way that Congress intended it, that you should be doing it this way. So it's changing the norms effectively. Pretty damn cool, right? So that's why Canary, which by the way was the first firm to do this, for XRP anyway, they did it on the 24th. That's why I keep saying November 13th. Yeah, when this comes, it's going to be live either on that date, or if the government shutdown ends prior to that, it could be sooner. It actually could. But they're not the only firm, though. So check this out. Here's the headline. This is the new one from Coinpedia. XRP ETF launch could happen this November after Bitwise SEC filing. So you'll see as I go through this. Other firms have caught on to what Canary did. Canary was the first mover on this for XRP specifically. They did it for other coins, as I reported in a video, I don't know, 2 or 3 days ago, maybe. So there were actually other cryptocurrencies like HBAR, Solana, Litecoin that already got approved. I said that wrong. That already went live because the delaying amendment was removed, but it wasn't done for XRP. So now there are firms copying Canary. They're the first ones that made this change. They filed with the SEC October 24th. They're like, oh, let's do what that one do. And so anyway, piece reads as follows. The long-awaited XRP exchange-traded fund from Bitwise could soon become a reality. Bitwise, the $15 billion asset management giant, just submitted Amendment Number 4 to its XRP ETF filing with the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, revealing 2 crucial details. Experts believe such updates usually signal the final step before approval. If cleared by the SEC, the XRP ETF could go live within just 20 days. And so to be clear, they filed this yesterday, a week after Canary, so they're behind. So that would mean this would go live November 20th. So it's a major firm that has also decided this is the path forward. And again, let me reiterate, Paul Atkins has said this is the way to approach ETF filings, just in general, not even about crypto, just in general. So I'm sitting here thinking, oh, hell yeah, that's absolutely fantastic. It's about to go. And the reason this matters if you're an XRP holder, to be clear, is because these ETFs are backed by actual XRP. So it materially impacts the supply and demand dynamics for XRP specifically. So it'll matter to a certain degree in the short term, but I'm most excited about what it means for the long term over a span of years and decades. As I always say, I still firmly believe that. The amount of money that will flow into XRP as a result of that, it's an unknowable number, but it's ridiculously substantial. It's people that otherwise wouldn't be investing in this particular thing. Anyway, piece continues. On October 31st, Bitwise filed an Amendment Number 4 with the SEC to update its S1 form. The latest updated document includes 2 crucial details. First, the listing venue will be the New York Stock Exchange. And second, the management fee will be 0.34%. So there you go, folks. XRP on the New York Stock Exchange. XRP hitting Wall Street, my friends. And of course, it's the ETF that the customer would be purchasing, but it's backed by actual XRP. So yes, XRP hitting Wall Street for sure. Eric Balchunas, senior ETF analyst at Bloomberg, believes Bitwise's latest filing marks a major step forward for XRP's entry into traditional finance. And he said, quote, adding the NYSE and fee means Bitwise checked nearly all boxes, end quote. And I'll just tell you, like, Eric Balchunas is nothing against him. He's not like a troll towards XRP or the XRP community. Based on various posts from him, he is not an XRP fan. He does not like XRP. That's what it seems like to me. But here, he's just acknowledging reality. And like, yeah, this is going to go forward, though. So I can at least appreciate that. So maybe he doesn't suffer from XRP derangement syndrome. He just doesn't like XRP, which just makes him wrong rather than a troll. That's nice. And he says, and then our piece continues, historically, once issuers include exchange and fee details in their S1 forms, it usually means they're waiting for the final green light from the SEC. Okay, now, in this particular case, we don't have to wait for anything from the SEC. Now, Bitwise doesn't. Take a look at this. This is the relevant portion right here. This is an actual official SEC document. This is from their website. This is the part that matters, and this is for Bitwise. This registration statement, bottom left of your screen here, this registration statement shall hereafter become effective in accordance with the provisions of Section 8A of the Securities Act of 1933. Okay, that, what they're referencing right there, the 20-day timer, that's what's in there. So that's why that sentence right there does mean, yeah, you got 20 days, then it goes live automatically. That is what that sentence means. It is included in that. So you're going to have Canary by November 13th, almost certainly. And then you're going to have a week later, Bitwise. Now, of course, again, if the government shutdown ends, you could have both of them. You could have them both approved on the same day. And like, it could be tomorrow, 2 days, 3 days, 4, I don't know. I'm just saying, we don't know. It could be way sooner. And so that's pretty damn cool to see as far as I'm concerned. So it's actually coming, but yeah, XRP absolutely just got put on the fast track. It's coming, folks. And this is at the perfect time. We haven't had, I was hoping this. I wasn't sure if we would have had altcoin, like the actual alt season by now. We haven't. The timing of this could be rather serendipitous, let's say. I'm not a financial advisor. You should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say, right? That would be a very, very, very bad idea.